What up, everybody? Welcome to a Friday's Coffee Hour. Thanks for joining me, taking time out of your week. You're at the end of the week, and hopefully everybody's had a very productive week, making that money, growing those relationships, getting to know people, getting to learn the code a little bit better, teaching other people the code, all this kind of stuff. Hopefully that's how your week's gone. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here on Coffee Hour. Now, if somebody's already started people have already started in the comments. So again, as I always say, hey, everybody, do me a favor. Let me know where you're from, who you're at. If you're in the Fast Tracks program, we'd love to hear it. We love all of our students and our Fast Track family. If you're a member of our Fast Tracks Tube subscription, holler out and let us know. Do me a favor. If you like our streams, we do this every week. If you're bored with it, I understand. You don't have to come. But if you enjoy it and you enjoy getting your day started, give us a thumbs up, share it with other people. And again, it doesn't take too much to share a little love, okay? I always tell people, if you got your haters, they're the ones that are doing it because you know what? Maybe they can't do it. So maybe they feel bad because they can't do it. I don't know, but I ain't going to be hating. I'm excited you're all here. So let's do some shout outs real quick to everybody that's joining us today. Adam, good morning, my friend. Got your pint of coffee, pints, plural. That's right. I didn't go up. I'm out almost. So I should have gone up over to the coffee maker, but I did not. So I'm stuck. I'm here. I'm not going to leave you. But again, thank you, sir. Thanks for joining us. Regular is here. Charlie, good morning. Got a question? Okay, Charlie's got stuff right out of the gate. Let's see here. So Charlie's listening over or watching over on YouTube, that type of thing. Charlie says, can I run NM cable to a pool pump in a single family dwelling? We'll go look at that in the code. But at the end of the day, you're going to need an insulated equipment ground for most of these applications. And non-metallic sheet cable doesn't have an insulated equipment ground. So we can go look at that. But man, you're right out the gate, unrelated to just right out the gate. All right, let's see here. Russ, good morning. Thanks for joining us over on the YouTube channel. And Russ says he's got his gallon of coffee ready. No shit. When you get into one of mine, you're going to need to do that. Charlie says, making trouble early. Charlie, we've already labeled you, bro. So we already know when you're coming into the room, there's going to be trouble. Let's see. Okay, this is a good reminder to everybody. We are using the hashtag WIN, the same as we have before. So if you want to get registered and spin the wheel today, then just put hashtag WIN in the comments. So whatever platform you're on, you'll get added into the automatic drawing. And if your name is picked, then you get to spin the wheel and you get registered for drawings for free courses, free estimating. I shouldn't say free. You get for courses, estimating software, minimalist wallets, coins, license plates, grounding and bonding course and all that kind of stuff. You get put in a drawing, and the drawing is going to be March 31st. So hashtag WIN gets you in. How about that? Boy, that sounds like I meant to do that. Morning, Abe's barbecue. What's up? We got an electrician that's also a barbecue. I love barbecue. I had a smoker before I came to Virginia. I got rid of my smoker because it couldn't fit. I had the one with the horns, oh my God, it was expensive. What is it? Rectech. I had a Rectech smoker. I got rid of it because I could not get it into the storage pods to get it here. So my loss was somebody else's gain. Good morning, Dominique, coming over from YouTube channel. Let's see here. Paul, interesting music this morning. Yep, interesting music. Try to change it up a little bit. What's up, Red Dog? Thanks for joining me again over on YouTube channel. Good morning. And we see people getting in that hashtag WIN, get in the drawing. Alfonso, Alhambra, California. I think I'm saying that right. Wow. That's early. You got my early folks out there. Let's see here. Adam says, let the coffee kick in, y'all. And F the haters. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We're all about that. What do we got here? GM, Juan. Welcome back, Juan. And we have Tino. Thanks, Tino, for joining us. Simplex. James from Alabama. Thanks for joining me, my friend. Love. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having you here. Great to have you here. John's in the house. Nebraska. Chilly? Probably chilly, Nebraska. I don't know. Is it chilly out in Nebraska? Anyway. All right, guys. So updates. So most of you know I got a fence put in yesterday. I had fencing guys come in and put in a fence. Dan Martin's from Chicago. Thank you, Dan. Tino, you are most welcome, my friend. And we got Dan hopping in from Chicago. Okay. All right. So right off the gat, did I say right off the gat? I don't know what right off the gat means. Let's see here. Let's go to 680 real quick because Charlie could not wait to get a question out the box. So let's go there real quick and see if my screens work. Okay. Everything seems to be working. Okay. So, all right. So we go down to, I guess, this pool pump motor. Okay. All right. The wiring methods. All right. For pool pump motor, it says, okay, that's for necessary. Let's see here. Pool pump replacement. We'll assume you're running GFCI protection. We'll assume that. So is your pool pump motor by chance have to be flexible? Okay. Well, if it is, and fluid flexible means, people can argue that non-metallic sheath cable is very flexible, right? But sad to say, it really isn't very flexible. There's your replacement rule. Let's see here. What else here? Oops, sorry about that. Okay. Let's say, so let me ask you a question real quick, Charlie. Is your pool pump, let me go back to chats here. Where's your pool pump at? Because obviously if the pool pump is outside, you couldn't use non-metallic sheath cable anyway. Okay, so that kind of, keep doing the hashtag win, folks. Manny's in the house. That type of thing. So Charles says, yes, so there is an allowance for this circuit to be able to run this. Okay, so if you look at here in this application, okay, permanent install comply with provisions 1 and 2 of this article. Okay, and if you look at it, in your mind, you're thinking, okay, as long as it stays inside of the house, okay, and then it transitions, right? So one of the things for me would be you'd be okay on the inside of the house, but if you hit a junction box on the inside and you transition when you go outside, obviously you can't use non-metallic sheath cable outside. Okay, so you're able to use the different wiring methods here, but if we go back to part 1 and hold on here, I don't want to go underground. I want to go this here. Oops, hold on, it's not jumping. It's jumping, but it's not jumping. Go back to here. Okay, so we're in 680, the basic of 680. If you might remember back years ago where we had this the feeder rule that was in here, I think that was 680.25 at some point. And it was okay for it to be inside as long as it was a covered equipment ground. Covered means it had the sheathing on it. That went away simply because it just basically said, you know what, you can use any of the Chapter 3 wiring methods. So we didn't have a problem with it if it's inside of the house. I don't know why I guess the question is, most of the pool pumps I've dealt with aren't inside, right? But the inside portion, okay, is one of those things where the inside portion of it, you're okay because you'd be running it in the walls or you'd be running it protected and all that kind of stuff. It's where it transitions to outside is where you would have a problem. And don't worry about your fingers. I'm on you. I got you. So I don't think there's any problem with anything. Okay. So if you see right here, I think it's all going to depend on where your location you're running it from. Okay. I think you'll be okay. That type of pump. Now, probably a double insulated pump, but you don't get a lot of information here on it. So I would think that a Chapter 3 wiring method would be fine. I'm just looking down, see if there's anything else while we're here that I can't think of anything. Because you're in, as long as you're still inside the building, I don't see any problem. We're down into other stuff. So if you look down here to let's see here. Let's see, I gotta make sure where I'm at. Bear with me, Charlie. You hit me early on this damn morning, and I want to make sure that I'm not in somewhere we don't need to be. Hold on here. I want to get back to chapter 1. Hold on, listing requirements here. Okay, so let's see here. I don't think you're going to be any problem with it, Charlie. Only problem we have is where you get into cord and plug connections and you're looking at flexibility and all those type of things. Then it's going to want to have an insulated equipment ground. But other than that, if it's just feeders and branch circuits, feeders and branch circuits installed in a corrosive environment or what location shall contain an EGC that is insulated. It sounds like you're not in a corrosive environment. Sounds like your part inside the building, you're okay. But the moment you move to the corrosive environment or you move outside, then you're going to need to insulate equipment again, and it's going to end up making non-metallic sheath cable something you can't use. So I think, and I was just wondering if it showed an example right here. I just sometimes I like examples, but it doesn't really, it's not a good example, that type of thing. But I think you get the, hold on, let me get back here. I think you get the point, right? There you go. Okay, so I think you get the point. So as long as I'm inside, I'm not in a corrosive environment. That changed a couple cycles ago where we were so harping on it, but we had this allowance, and it really started from that feeder that said, if you had a feeder to a pool to a pool panel, what part of the equipment ground had to be insulated? Well, it gave an allowance for the part that's inside the building. But then you had to transition to the part that's outside the building where it had to be insulated equipment ground, right? So all outdoor conditions are somewhat, corrosive. I'm a believer that PVC is is good inhibitor to corrosion. It protects it. Others disagree, but I think we test PVC and it's very corrosive resistant. But when you have something like a cable, then you've got this exposed equipment ground, it's just covered. Then you have a problem with it. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, hopefully that answered the question. All right, let's see here. What else we got? TJI, good morning. Let's see here. Adam, what does Adam say? Fat finger? Yeah, it happens to all of us. Charlie, okay, there you go. Charlie says, okay. Charlie says he has run into a pool panel. Well, the problem with that is typically depends on where the pool panel is and whether or not it invokes a corrosive environment. If you put that pool panel in a pool equipment room, then 680.14 and all this corrosive environment, and there was the big argument that is a corrosive environment, so you couldn't have a non-metallic sheath cable product like that in that environment, right? Okay, so that was the other big deal. But then I made an argument to people that what about if you put the panel, if you're okay with the panel, what about the breakers? They're plastic. What about the other component? What about most of the luminaires are plastic? Hell, the pool pump equipment most of the time is plastic. So they couldn't really answer that question because they didn't like the thought of using PVC jacketed MC in those environments. And I told them, I said, PVC jacketed MC, the PVC is very corrosive resistant, that type of thing. So it was a big argument we had a couple cycles ago. So now, interesting enough, I'll show you the wording so I can show you how I get around this. You ready? Hey, good morning, Samantha from Hanford. Beto, good morning. Getting the hashtag win out there. Remember, hashtag win gets you in the drawing. TGI, good morning. Thanks for joining me. Hope I don't miss anybody because I'm trying to keep an eye on multiple screens. But real quick, let's go look real quick since we're kind of having that discussion. So here is 680.14 for Charlie. It says, wiring methods shall be suitable for use in corrosive environments. And so this is a part where we stop, right? So this part right here, for those that ask, this part right here, this is where I believe PVC jacketed MC is perfectly fine. Why? Because it's evaluated for corrosive environments. If you actually look at 330.12, and part of the application for PVC jacket or is an impervious jacket, and that's what it is when we extrude it over it. So I'm a believer that that wiring method is suitable for use in a corrosive environment. We can run it outside. We can direct bury it in the earth, corrosive environments. So why would I not be able to use it on a pool application? You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people didn't agree, and they tried to rewrite this so that you couldn't use PVC jacketed MC. They really did spend a lot of effort at the code meetings a couple cycles ago trying to really restrict the use of PVC jacketed MC. It was crazy. But this first sentence is what I worked on with them in the night to make it clear, right? And then it goes on, it hits a period. And this is why code is sometimes hard to understand. It hits a period. Then it goes rigid metal, intermediate metal, rigid polyvinyl chloride, conduit, PVC, by the way, reinforced thermosetting resin, RTRC, and liquid tight flexible non-metallic conduit, okay, shall be considered suitable for the use. So this is just calling out different types of wiring methods that they consider, that is considered to be suitable for the use. But the very first line, first sentence is wiring methods shall be suitable for the use in corrosive environments. Well, that by virtue of PVC jacketed MC, it is already evaluated for use in a corrosive environment. So it doesn't have to be in this list down here. You get what I'm saying? And of course, this talks about aluminum conduit, whatnot, that type of thing. Okay, so that's where we got that there. And then of course they added this in the last cycle, probably because of my whining and crying, that said other equipment shall be suitable for use in corrosive environments or be installed in identified corrosive resistant enclosures. Equipment listed for pool and spa use shall be considered suitable. So that means it's been through the evaluation, okay, that type of thing. And then, of course, you get into these wiring methods that we talked about now. And again, nothing precludes any of the Chapter 3 wiring methods, except for it just depends on where the location is. So you're inside. I don't have a problem with SER run into something. I don't have a problem with NM run into something. As long as with the NM, it's in the dry location and you're not in a corrosive location, that type of thing. So again, I like to think you have some leeway here. Oh, and by the way, for all those ninnies out there that say, no, MC cable doesn't say what Paul just said, because I've got my haters and they forget I make it for a living. So we'll go back and look here at the uses permitted. Okay, so here's our MC cable. Okay, it's permitted. Yes, it can be in a raceway. People ask that all the time. Yes, it can be direct buried where identified, right? Yada, yada, yada. It can be in damp or wet locations where a corrosive resistant jacket is provided over. Hello? And this is what we do. We put a jacket resistant to moisture is provided. Okay, here. The metallic covering is impervious to moisture. Okay, and the insulated conductors that we put inside of it are rated for wet location, that type of thing. But it lets me do any of the following. So what do? We put a PVC impervious jacket on it. And it's designed to go in corrosive environments like direct burial. Now, not the same other severe corrosive. It didn't say that in 680.14, right? Didn't say that. So PVC jacketed MC is perfectly fine to use for applications outside like that. Okay, so that's how we got there. And it was, you should have been there. It was a big argument in Code Panel 17. Anyway, David, thanks for joining me this morning. Okay, all right, folks, like I say, let me get me geared up here. Hold on here. Okay, so like I said, what we're doing here, folks, and let me go here so you can kind of look and see what we're doing before we get into anything. We're doing contests. The drawing is on this day. What you have to do to win is, by the way, let's just see here. Let's reset this giveaway so you can see. All right, so here's what you do. You just got to type hashtag win in the comments wherever you're watching from. Hashtag win. Okay. So there you go, Charlie. Good. I'm glad that hopefully that helped you, Charlie. It's a good little detail that we can talk about. All right, so that's what you do to win, folks, and we'll spin the wheel and you can get listed to win. As you can see, those names that are going by are those that hit the hashtag win. All right, let's get into a lesson because I'm talking way too much. All right, so let's look at this first question, folks. You got your code books handy, you're ready to go, energy's pumping, got your coffee. All right, first question, it says, the service demand. Think about the question, folks, because when I pull away from the question, I'll need you to remember it. The service demand for a apartment building is, and don't just guess, if you know, give me the code references, okay? The service demand for an apartment building, and we'll do that thanks to James from Alabama, who says that I'm gotten too soft on these code questions. All right, so the service demand for an apartment building for a 40-story apartment, a 40-unit apartment building. It's got 40 units. So it has an apartment building has 45,000 watt electric dryers. Is what watts? So what is the contribution for the service for 500 watt or 5,000 watt or 5,000 VA? Now here's an interesting question, folks. I love these type of questions. Okay, so this is your question. Remember it. So it's 40 units. So that means there's 40 dryers, and every dryer is 5,000 VA or 5,000 watts. VA is synonymous with watts, okay? So either way, you're given that question. So lock that in your mind because I'm going away from this. So look at the question, 40. I want to know what the service demand is. What am I going to add to the calculation, okay? Let me ask you now. I see a table, but give me an answer. Okay. So why is this important? You got to remember the question. That's why we go away from the question so you'll remember it, okay? Charlie's throwing some numbers out there. Okay, so let's think about this. And that wasn't even one of your answers, Charlie, by the way. Okay, you forgot the answers already. Everybody's saying 5,000, 5,000, 50,000, 50,000. But I'm going to take you back there because you're not doing what I told y'all. Let's go back to the lesson. Look at the answers. Look at the answer choices. 50,000 is not an answer choice, okay? Just so we know. Okay, all right, so interesting question on an exam because you notice they didn't say anything about optional method. Since you know that it's 40 units because it's 40 dryers, then in the real world, we probably, if we're just doing a calculation, right, then we would go over and say, okay, we're just going to use the optional method. And we could actually use the optional method in order to do this. Forget all the other stuff. Just use that one piece of equipment and apply the demand for it if it was optional method. Not what the question wanted to know. You always assume standard unless they tell you otherwise. So in this case, it's a standard calculation, part 3 of Article 220. So in that case, again, nothing in that question said something about use the optional method. You know, the real world versus what a test world is, two different things, right? So we have to remember it's a standard method. And as some people have posted, there is a specific table, and you should know this. In our program, you'll know it, but you should know this. By the way, if you're not in our Fast Tracks program and you're interested in it, it's by far, I think, the best exam preparation and NEC learning course out there. Of course, I am biased, of course, right? But at the end of the day, we put a lot into it, and there's just chevrons that works you in and out of the code. So if you're interested, check it out. Link will be down in the recording of this, so if you're interested in checking it out. But we have to remember this is standard method. And so we're going to go look at the code and see what the code says about this, okay? You're saying, why do I know it's a standard method? Because it didn't say anything about optional method, right? So it's standard method. So the first thing we're going to go is, let's go to the NEC real quick. So y'all remember the question? Remember the question? It's 40 dryers in an apartment building, 40, okay? And we're going to show you how you apply this. Okay, so let's go to the code. I got a lot of answers here. I got a lot of wrong answers, so this will be a great one. This is why we're here, guys. This is why we come here. So let's go down. So y'all know if you were to go in the index, you can look under dryers. It will get you to 220, and you're in 220, and you're thinking, okay, I remember that there's a specific article, specific section just for clothes dryers. Now, of course, again, just to remind you, load for a household electric clothes dryer is in a dwelling unit, or notice it says S plural, dwelling units, okay, is either 5,000 watts or VA, okay, they're synonymous, okay, or the nameplate rating, whichever is higher for each dryer served. Okay, so that is the first thing that you'll learn, right? All right, the next thing you'll learn here is it says the use of the demand factors in table 220.54 shall be permitted, not a requirement, permitted. Okay, so you can take them at the full value and add up all of the clothes dryers. That'd be 5,000 times 40 of them. You could do that if you want and size your service that way. You'd be a bonehead to do that. I'm just saying. I mean, what would be the point, right? I mean, you'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, yep. All right, so we're allowed to use this table. So let's look at this table. We'll see how it looks. Okay, it came out okay. All right, I'll pin the header. All right, so we had, how many did we have, guys? We had 40. Where does that put us at? It puts us right here, right? So it's 35 is your base, right? And then it's minus a 0.5 for each dryer exceeding 23. Okay, so you start with your base of 35 and you take away 0.5 for each dryer that exceeds 23. Okay, well, what do? Well, we said it was 40, right? Come back to me real quick. Well, let's go to this one. This makes it easier for us. Hold on, let's go here. All right, and we're just right here real quick. Still got the code up, but you can't see the thing, but we know what it is. I'll tell you. It's 35%, and then it's minus 0.5% for each dryer exceeding 23. Getting some diversity here. All right, so 0.5. So first of all, we have 40, and we're going to take minus 23. That gives us 17. So that's 17 is the amount, okay, that exceeds 23. And then we do that times 0.5. So that is 8.5%, okay? So I take that 35 and I minus 8.5. That gives me 26.5. That's our percentage we're working with. All right, so 26.5. Write that down. Okay, now I take the 5,000 and I multiply it by how many units do we have? 40. So 5,000 times 40 is 200,000 VA. Now we get to apply that. We'll multiply that by 0.265, right? And what do we get? We get 53,000. Now, you might have a fancy dancy calculator that you might do the 200,000 times 26.5 and hit the percent key. Either way, it's going to give you 53,000. So that is one of those ones that hopefully, if you got nothing out of the day's episode, give me some love, share some likes, give me some whoop, whoop, whoops, and at least you know how to apply this table, okay? So that's what we got. So that's how you apply this portion of the table. Now, if you're 43 and over, you just fly a flat 25%. But here you had to do a little something. All right. So let's go back to the question. All right. So the answer here is 53,000. And there's our reference. Okay. So that's just kind of how you flow through it. Let's do another question. All right. Here's an interesting one here. So 3. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. God, we got good ones today, guys. 3-aught AHW, which doesn't exist, but doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't exist, but it doesn't really matter. Aluminum conductors. All we care about is this right here. Okay, so this might try to throw you. Don't let it throw you. 3-aught AHW. And we got some woot woots going out. I need to get a woot woot sound on my thing here. I don't have a. That's all I got. All right. It says aluminum, and it says, so we have 3-aught aluminum conductors in parallel that run a distance of 678 feet will have a total resistance of blank ohms. So remember, when we parallel it, we're dropping the ohms, okay? It's basically acting like one conductor with more surface area. But we have to start out somewhere on this question, okay? Now, don't just throw me the answers, or don't try to throw me answers. Let's work through this. This is going to be a great learning episode on a Friday, Okay, and then we'll roll this, we'll do the spin the wheel after this one and get you some giveaways. All right, let's go to the code really quick and see where we would start this journey. So the first thing I need to start this journey is I need to find out what the resistance is. It's a basic resistance question. It didn't give me any other variable. Okay, so I'm okay. It didn't say anything about whether it's three-phase. It just, again, it just says 3/3/0. So keep it simple. Don't overanalyze it. Don't, or I like to say, don't overanalyze it. All right, keep it simple. So I'm going to go to chapter 9, and I'm going to go to chapter 9, table 8. And if I can find it, conductor properties. You're following me. Guys on TikTok, jump on over to the stream. You get to see the screen. All right, so I'm going to expand this so y'all all can see it. All right, so what we're talking about is 3/0, right? So we'll go down here to 3/0, right here, and it was aluminum, right? So I'm going to take this all the way out. Oh, let me pin the header. It makes it easier. Hold on, guys. All right, we'll take this all the way out. We'll pin the header. I like that pin the header feature. All right, so here we see the aluminum, and it was 3/0 aluminum. And it was, let's write this down. Let's get our pen and paper out, guys. We got to do a little work. And this is what I tell you on an exam, guys. If there's a question that has to do some calcs on it or some kind of layers of calculations, make sure you do not try to do them in your first wave of your calculation. Do not eat your time up doing that first. Just mark it and move on unless you just know the answer. All right, so here we see it is 0.126 per 1,000 feet, okay? Aluminum. So 0.126 per 1,000, okay? Now, what I want to do, guys, I'll come back to me to do this. So what I want to do first is find out, okay, I get it. I want to find out what it is per foot, right? Because I don't have 1,000 feet. I got 678 feet, if you remember the question, right? So it's 3/0 aluminum, 678 feet, okay? And so, all right, so I want to find out what's the resistance on only one conductor, because I know when I parallel it, it's going to drop. But, okay, we got one conductor. Okay, it's 0.126. Now, I'm going to divide that by 1,000. Okay, y'all probably already know that if you know how to move your zeros. So I'm going to put 0.126. I'm going to divide that by 1,000 because we need to find out what it is per foot. Okay, so you get your trusty calculator out. I'm going to get mine out. Y'all should be doing this anyway, so don't worry about me. All right, so I got my calculator out. Okay, so let me clear this thing out here. Wow, Paul's blind. All right, so we got 0.126, and we're going to divide that by 1,000, and that gives us 0.000126. Y'all see that? 0.000126. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, that's why they give you scratch paper, folks, on the exam. Okay. 0.000126, okay, per foot, okay? All right, now, we had 678 feet, okay? So I'm going to go 0.000126, okay? I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that times 678, all right? So that gives me 0.0854, so that gives me that. So there it is. There's what my resistance is for 678 feet, okay? Now, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to divide that by 3. Why am I going to divide that by 3? Because I have 3 conductors, okay? Now, hold on, somebody's trying to text me. I don't know why they're doing that. Okay, so then that gives us 0.028479, okay? So in that scenario, you're looking for, if you don't find the exact answer, you're looking for the closest probable answer. And since it's 0.028476, then I would say that the closest probable answer, and we'll look at it another way as well. We'll look at it a couple different ways. So I would say the closest probable answer, if it doesn't hit it exactly, because they could be using some other concept, and we'll look at that in a second. Right here, this is the This is the best plausible answer, okay? Now, let's go back to the code again and look at some other things. That's what I would pick, folks, and move on because there's not a big enough difference. But let's go back here. So we're back here, right? And you have this table as well. Hold on. for AC, and I don't know how this one, so this is AC resistance and reactance, three phase and all this stuff, and three single conductors in a conduit. So let's see, if I were to expand this table, okay, and let's see here. So here's the resistance here, okay, for aluminum wire, okay, and it didn't say it didn't say the type of raceway or whatever. So we're just we're playing around with numbers today. That's what we're here for. So let's just use the PVC, okay, and do it that way. So this is ohms per 1,000 feet here, and it's really hard to see this table. I'm gonna see if I can't. Let's see if it moves around a little bit. Let me see what all it gives me here. So there's copper, there's aluminum. Let's scroll real quick. So by the way, guys, this table, by the way, is for when we have a question that's dealing with AC resistance, and they're trying to find reactance and the effective Z, which is a total overall impedance. I think that's not the focus of the question, but we want to work one out anyway. So we're going to do the same thing we just did. So here's the ohms to neutral per 1,000 feet, and we're going to be under this resistance for aluminum. Okay. The other one we did was DC, by the way, and it's close enough, but let's work this one. Let's just assume PVC because it didn't say what type of raceway it was. All right. And so if I pin the header, and we're in AC here, let's go down and let's see. We got to get for 3. I again apologize, guys. It's really hard to do it with the link like this. So let's go back up here, and it was 3/0. So let's go right here. So I'll just do this across here so we can see. And this is the aluminum, and let's see here. So right here, we'll do PVC. So we're gonna be in this column right here. All right. So let's just write this down for a second. 0.256, okay? I'm just writing numbers down. 0.256. And we're going to do the same thing we just did, what we did before, just for craps and giggles. So we did 0.256 divided by 1,000 is, okay, and y'all can't see me, so I'll bring you back to the lesson for me. Got to hang with me, guys. A lot of moving parts back here. So let's come back to me. So that's what that is. So you take the value, uncoated versus coated. Typically uncoated is just your regular bare. Coated would be tinned or things like that. That's the kind of the coated you're talking about when it comes to the equipment, to bare, to copper, okay? All right, so there's our value per foot for the Chapter 9, Table 9 value, okay? We're going to see if it makes a difference. There's that, right? Okay, so y'all got that. All right, so we got that. So now we're going to multiply that times the 678. All right, and that gives me a 0.173568, yada, yada, yada. And then I'm going to divide that by 3. All right, and that gives me a number that is not even close. See that? So, point being, folks, point being, let me bring you back to the chat here. The point being, go to the best possible answer because you don't know the variables that are being used by the person asking the question, right? And it's brought it back to the best possible answer in that case, okay? So back to the lesson. This is the best plausible answer, okay? And again, it just tells you this one, it really was saying use table 8. So there wasn't any intent for you to use the reactance table of table 9. It was all about 8, that type of thing. Now, here's what's interesting, because I love doing this, dude. I get jacked on this just doing this kind of stuff, guys. I don't know why. It might be I don't know. It might be a curse. I've been doing this for so many years. It's just like it could be just, I don't know. I can't explain why. I just still love doing all this stuff. So if we go to here, okay, this was the aluminum. Now, somebody asked about the copper code. So uncoated is what you're always going to use, just bare copper. Coated be something like a tinned copper, that type of thing. Makes sense? Okay. But anyway, this is how we did it. And that's what we used. And we take the closest possible answer. And you know what? Here's the worst part about exams is don't always assume that the exam writers are correct, and you can challenge things on an exam, right? But at the end of the day, hold on, folks, there we go. So at the end of the day, you can challenge things on an exam, but chances are it's easier just to do deductive logic and just move on. You won't win all the time, but it's worth it if you think you got a challenge. You think something's worded crappy, give it a challenge. All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's give away something real quick. All right, so if you haven't hit the hashtag win and put it in yet, then what's wrong with you? But that's what you need to do. You need to do the hashtag in order to be able to do it. So if you have, or you're new, you just come in and you hadn't done the hashtag win yet. Okay. So yeah, and Titans makes a question. Again, always consider just bare copper, uncoated, bare, unless they tell you otherwise. Again, it's kind of like always assume copper unless they state otherwise. Covering it or covered is something over than the norm. Always assume copper, those type of things like so. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and see if we can pick somebody's name out. Anybody want to guess why I had to change this now? All right, Tino, I'm putting you down. You're gonna get to spin the wheel today. Hold on, let me find where my list is here. All right, number one, Tino. This is to spin the wheels. There's a couple things you can win instantly, but majority of the stuff is going to be part of a drawing that's taking place on March 31st, and it'll say drawing right beside it if it is. All right, it's your responsibility to be there. I capture your screen name, so you'd have to be there with the same screen name, Tino H, to actually get instructions if you win. Okay, so got all that out of the way. Let's spin the wheel for Tino. We got another hard question coming up too, guys. So, all right, Tino H, you get 12 months. Yeah, it sounds weird, doesn't it? Yeah, it keeps me out of trouble. Put it that way, Charlie. All right, so this allows you to have 12 months of access to Fast Tracks Tube. That's our video platform. We have exclusive videos over there, exclusive webinars, things like that. Okay. So Russ gets it. So make sure, Tino H, you go to Fast Tracks Tube. Okay. It's more carnival-like. Well, that's a carnival wheel. We're spinning a carnival wheel. So, okay, it works out, right? I'm going to keep constantly adding new music and try to spice things up, that type of thing. So Tino, all you got to do is go to fasttrackstube.com, sign up for a free membership, and then let us know, and we will upgrade your membership to 1 year of annual membership. And you can choose to renew it after that if you feel like you get good value out of it. Okay, so that's all you got to do. Go to fasttrackstube.com, Tino, and sign up. All right, let's do another one real quick. Let's pick another winner here before we do the next question. Hold. Rolling up in here, Beto B. I don't know if you're still here, Beto B. From over on our Facebook. You're over there with Manny. All right, Beto, we're going to spin the wheel and see what you can get registered for. That's all right, Rob. We're not over yet. We're not at the end. We still got another question we're going to look at. So let's spin the wheel for Beto. We had two really good questions with Robbie, so you definitely want to rewatch those. if you're over on Fast Track's Tube, I think you can actually drag the slide back and go back in time and watch it and catch up. That's another feature over on Fast Track Tube. You can slide the... You're in the drawing for the NEC Enhanced Program, exam prep, okay? So 2023 NEC Enhanced. Okay, you're in that drawing, my friend. All right, we're going to do some more drawings here in a minute. Let's get back to another code question. All right, next one. This will be a good one for you guys. Really going to work. We're working the brain today, bro. We're working the brain. So you have 6, 2, AWG, THWN-2 aluminum current carrying conductors in a wet location will have an ampacity of what? All right, guys. I'm going to let you in the comments. I want to see what your answers and give me some code references to support your answers. Don't guess, okay? And I'm going to let you guys chill on this one for a few seconds, and we'll see what you get. Okay, you ready? I'm going to let you chill on this one. And while you're chilling, I'm going to do the math. Because I want to know, dude. I want to calculate this bad smamma jamma out. Remember everything in the question. And give me some answers and code references. Folks on TikTok, see what you're missing? Get the code. I'm gonna get it all geared up so I can show you guys what we're dealing with. All right. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Somebody give me some answers in here. Charlie says, okay, Charlie's given 310-16 and 310-15 C1. Okay, Charlie, think about that answer a little bit. And he gave an answer of 100. All right, think about it a little bit, Charlie. And we'll go look at it. Think about that answer. I'm going to do my math real quick, guys. It's going to be a good one, folks. Remember what we're dealing with. Remember what we're dealing with, Ken. It's aluminum. In case that throws anybody. Aluminum question. Okay. And remember, it's a wet location, and remember the wire we're using. I love these kind of questions. Keep at it, guys. Well, I see some answers coming out of here. Let's see here. Yep, got me, not 100. Absolutely. John's all right, John. Okay, enough of that music, that psychedelic stuff. So let's go to the code real quick. Oh, actually, let's go look at some of the answers we got here. Let's see here. Charlie threw us up 100. Then it's 104. I think he's just guessing. Let's see here. John Moser. I like your mind. Charlie says not 100. Yep, got me. And then TJI says 72. Okay, a lot of stuff. Robbie, don't run. We got one more to go. We're almost done, subby. All right. Okay, so let's go look at the code real quick and see how we did. First, let's look at the question. The question was 6 2 AWG aluminum conductors. Okay, we don't really care about this except for the fact that we see that this is a -2. Why is that important? Because that means that we can use the 90-degree ampacity for adjustment and corrections. And what do we have here? We have an adjustment to the number of current carrying conductors because we exceed 3, right? We have 6 current carrying conductors. So we're exceeding 3, so we have to do what? We're going to have to make an adjustment to the ampacity. Now, since this is THWN-2, that -2 means that I can use the 90-degree wet or dry. So this becomes irrelevant, right? It made a big deal if it didn't have this -2. It would have been a big deal, right? But it did have the -2. So a wet location becomes moot. It doesn't really matter, right? Okay, with that all in your mind, let's go to the NEC. All right, so here at the NEC, we're going to be at the 90-degree column, and this is the aluminum side, okay, aluminum side. We're at the 90-degree. Why? Because that -2 means that we can use the 90 for adjustment and corrective purposes, okay? All right, that's what the -2 means. All right, so I come down here, and I'm looking for the 2 gauge. Where are we at? Right here. So since I can use the 90 for adjustment and corrective purposes, and the question is just asking what's the new ampacity of the conductor at this point. So I'm using that 100, okay? So I'm going to write 100 down. It's a good 100 amps, that 2, aluminum at 90. Now, I go to 31015C1. Why? Because what did I tell you earlier? We have more than 3 current carrying conductors, okay? We have more than 3 current carrying conductors in a raceway. So we have to use this table. So let's go down and look at this table. This table says right here, when you have 4 to 6, then the multiplier is 80%. So we simply take that 100 times 0.80, and it's 80. Of course, it doesn't take you much to realize if it's 100 and you do it, it'd be 80, right? So that would be our answer. Okay, so come back to me. So as you can see, that would be our answer, 80. So 100 times 80% gives you 80. Don't need to do a whole lot of math for that one. But again, it could be if it was more than 100, it just works out that it's 100. So the conductor's ampacity is 80 amps because you're 80% of that 100 amp rating. See how that works? So in the question, we had to, we had to dissect it. We made sure we knew we had 6, so we knew we had more than 3, so we knew 31015C1 is going to come into play. We knew that we could use the 90 because of the rating of the insulation, that -2. And for everybody that says, Paul, how do I know that? Okay, I can answer that too. Dude, I got all kinds of answers today. So if we go to 300 and we go to the conductors and we go to this, and we go down to, let's see here. Hold on here. Let me get to my nifty little, the nifty little 310, excuse me. If I got to get there. 310 for conductors. Oops, hold on. And we go to conductors. So we're at here and we go to 310.4. I just want to show you, and I'm sure I can't show this whole table, but I do want to show you, this is the only part that makes any difference, is if you go over here and let's go down to THWN, by the way. And here's THHN, THHW, yada, yada. Okay, here's THWN right here. Notice that it can be used in dry or wet locations. If it was just THWN, it would be 75. So you'd have to do your adjustment and corrections from the 75. We get the permission to use the higher, but see this -2? Notice it is 90. Right here, 90. Wet or dry. 90 when it's THWN-2. So that's how we were able to get to that, okay? All right, let us go back to the lesson, and we'll choose this. And there's our reference, 310.16, the table, and 310.15C1. Great learning stuff today, folks. Getting a little bit of very detailed stuff on today. Okay, so, okay. Copper's 104. Yeah, but the question only wanted to know about aluminum. So don't let it get you. And exactly, Charlie, that kind of stuff can get you because we're so used to using copper. Now, if it had just said 6 2 THWN-2 current carrying conductors, You're absolutely right. We could use copper as a default, but it didn't say copper, right? It told us aluminum. So that's exactly what you need to look for on an exam. Exactly as Charlie points out here, is that we need to make sure that every question is analyzed so that we can look at it and make sure without a doubt whether we're going to be defaulting to copper or we need to use the aluminum and not get us confused, because it only takes a second to get confused. So here's some things to remember. -2 on a conductor's insulation means that it can be used for adjustment purposes, 90 wet or dry. All right, makes sense? Also for corrective purposes, where the ambient temperature is other than 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be 31015 B11. That -2 is so important. And that's why Encore Wire and Prismium put -2 on all of our products, whereas some of our competitors for the 14, 12, and 10, they do not. Be careful, because I could not do this calculation that we just did from the 90 if it was only THWN. I would have to do it from the 75, because that's all THWN's insulation is rated for. So many things to think about on an exam, that type of thing. Let's spin the wheel. Let's give away some more stuff real quick. All right, let's reset the giveaway. If you got #win, you're in the drawing. Let's go on and see what we can get for somebody. Hold on, let me do some funky music. We only got an hour, so I like to balance it out, guys. I gave you four really good questions and a deep dive on dryers, and I think that was a good lesson for today. And we even looked up pool pumps, and we talked about chapter 3. Okay, new people today. Michael Lubers. I don't know if you're still in here, Michael, but you get to spin the wheel, my friend. So we're going to spin the wheel and let you see if you win. Michael Lubers, spinning the wheel for you. Over to Fast Track's Tube, okay, our video platform. All you got to do is go to fasttrackstube.com, go up where it says member plans, click on it, get a free membership, then reach out to us and give us and let us know what your username is and everything and your email, and we will upgrade your plan to a free annual membership, a $99 value for free, okay, or for winning today. That's an instant, immediate prize that you get, okay? All right, folks, that high-tech version is really driving me crazy. So you get Fast Track's Tube. Let's spin another one real quick. I guess I got to put the music back on. Let's do it real quick. We got a minute. Let's do another one. Let's pick somebody. Does that high-tech sound annoying? Or if I'll change it if you think it's annoying. It's just something different. Behind the scenes over on TikTok's watching what's going on. Hopefully you join us over on the live streams in the mornings. That's random, folks. Beto B gets in another drawing. I don't know if Beto B is still in here, but let's spin the wheel for Beto again. You can win multiple prizes here. And we're gonna spin one more time after that, because I like to do 5 each episode. Again, it just picks some random, but you got to put the #win in there. There you go. You get a free 12-month subscription to Fast Track's Tube. So you're already registered for the 2023 enhanced course, but you also get 12 months of Fast Track's Tube. So if you got the enhanced, you'd get the tube. But if you don't win the enhanced, you still got the tube. And if you end up winning both, then we'll just give you another year. Dude, you're making out like a bandit. So for you as well, Beto, go to fasttrackstube.com, register for a free membership, then reach out to us. We have contact buttons over there, or you can email us. Reach out to us and let us know your username and everything, and we'll upgrade your account. All right? All right, right, let's do one more person real quick and spin the wheel. See if we can't pick another person to give away. And Beto, if you get it again, then I'm gonna start thinking this thing is flawed. I'm just saying, I've never had anybody hit it 3. And we're going to be adding some more stuff next week. And we're trying to hook up with some sponsors to be able to give away some stuff. Okay? We're really trying, guys. We appreciate you all coming every morning. Okay? Let's see. Russ says fake news. Well, I got to put that on the screen. Russ says Manny yesterday, Russ today, fake news. Oh, okay. All right, let me get rid of that real quick. All right, so Richard, you get Fast Tracks 2 subscription. Just go over. Did I spin? Beta said, whoop, whoop. There you go. Yeah, so maybe it's picking in on, well, this one wasn't from Facebook. So Richard, did I spin for Richard? Or was this from the last one? No, I think this is a spin. Did I spin for Richard? I can't remember. Anyway, Richard, you get Fast Tracks 2 a year. Just go to our website, sign up for a free membership, and let us know, and we'll elevate you to a free membership. Okay? I believe that's it for that. Okay? What does Dominique say? I'm going to say, great hour this morning. Hate that I was driving, but still got a lot from it. Go back and watch the replay, Dominique, because I think the 4 questions that we did today, I think are very powerful questions. I think that the 4 question we did today touches every element of what you may see on an exam. I really do. And so whether it's doing something with the adjustments for conductor's ampacity, whether it's calculating out for the dryers, whether it's doing a situation where all we were doing was looking at the ohms of a conductor and how you try to find the best possible answer, how to look at the index and dissect it. Guys, spend plenty of time on these questions in your database. These questions that we have here come out of our database of questions. If you've got it, take your time. Don't let anybody tell you that you have to rush through exam prep, that you have to rush through a question and say, oh, you got to get it done in 2 minutes. You got to get it done in 2 minutes. No, you don't. Not until you get to the last 2 weeks of your studying. Trust me, there's a method to the madness. I wouldn't teach you wrong. I've been doing this for many, many years. I'm invested in your success. Take your time, learn the index, dissect every little word, gain that confidence, come to our coffee hours every morning, share the love, and share with other people. And if you're in our Fast Tracks program, stay diligent, okay? Stay diligent. Don't give up, okay? Don't give up, all right? All right, folks, that's it for today. It was a great lessons. I appreciate all of you for joining me today. Hopefully you have a blessed day and get out there and make a little money, make a little relationships, learn the code, elevate your game, be the best that you can be. Don't let anybody put you down, and don't let anybody browbeat you down. You mean something to everybody, but you definitely mean something to people that are depending on you. So it's all about you, and we're here to help. So until next time, folks, stay safe. God bless. We'll catch you on another coffee hour. We'll see you Monday. Well, I'll give you another lesson, and we'll look at some code questions, and I'll take questions from you. All right? And remember, if you have any questions you want us to discuss in detail, or you want to ask a question or suggestions for future episodes, do me a favor, guys. Just go to paulabernathy.com, paulabernathy.com. I take suggestions, folks. I appreciate you. Till next time, stay safe.